Okay, good morning, friends. We're continuing in Mishna Daf Hashavua. We're learning some Kuf Chaf Daled. We're in the middle of Seif Beis. The Mechaber said in Seif Beis that a Sheikh Tzibur that comes to a shul and he sees that the Tzibur is davening quietly and he has to, already it's time for him to say Chazar Hashatz, he'll go straight into the Chazar Hashatz and he does not have to repeat and first say the silent Shemona Esrei. Or, if it's a Shas Hadchak, you're afraid the Zman Tefillah will pass, then you could immediately daven B'Kol Ram, and the Tzibur will daven with him word for word until after Hakel HaKadosh. However, it is best in that situation that one of them should be appointed V'Toiv, we're up to the Ramah. V'Toiv Shia Echad L'Chol HaPachas Sheyana Amen Achar Hashel Tzibur. In that case, we're basically, 4 minutes to Tefillah B'Tzibur, and you have no choice. The Chazan has to say the Shemona Esrei Chazar Hashatz now, because you cannot do everyone davens a silent Shemona Esrei, and then you're going to have a Chazar Hashatz, because what will happen then is the Chazan is going to miss the Zman Tefillah. So therefore, you start the Chazar Hashatz right away, but then everyone is going to be saying it along word for word. The problem though is nobody's answering Amen to the Shatz's bracha. So what you do is, everybody, you leave one person over to be able to answer Amen to the Chazar Hashatz. Says the Mishna V'Toiv, Hainu b'she'ein hasha dechuka kol kach. That's in a situation, so you'll ask, in other words, what do you mean you have one guy left over to answer Amen? But when's that guy supposed to daven? So I would have said, okay, you find a guy who davened already. But the Mishna says, V'hainu b'she'ein hasha dechuka kol kach. It's not so pressing. Rak shiurim shema yavar hazman. You're just afraid maybe the time will pass. Aval mashad dechuka b'yoser. But if it's very pressing, dai b'meh shahatinoikas yanu Amen. It's enough that children will say Amen. Or if it's mamish shas hadchak, appoint someone that already davened to answer Amen. Im efshar lohem bakalos, if it would be easy. V'im lav, otherwise ein lahakbid al zeh klal. Otherwise, don't be makbid on this at all, and let everybody just daven. V'loy dami l'mat shekasa b'Seif Daled d'me'ein tisha mechavnin l'berachas hashatz hu karev l'berachas avatala. And you'll ask, we say in Seif Daled that if you don't have 9 people being mechavein to the bracha the shatz, it's close to being a bracha avatala. So then why over here do we say only if you could get someone to answer Amen, you should. Otherwise, it's okay without it. Shani hasam shekvar spal pamachas balachash. There, they already daven quietly. There, the guy saying Chazar Hashatz only for Tekanas Chazal. But here, this is the guy Shemona Esrei, so if nobody answers Amen, big deal. It's not such a big deal if nobody answers Amen, because this is his silent Shemona Esrei. Mashen came and said Shumaspal Rak Pamechas. In this case, he's only davening one time, so what's the big deal if he doesn't have somebody to answer Amen, because he's not davening again anyway. Seif Gimel. Kahal shehispalu v'kulam b'kiyim b'tfilah. A community that they davened and they're all baki b'tfilah. Do you need to say Chazar Hashatz? Afal pikein yered Sheikh Tzibur v'choizel isbala. Nevertheless, the Sheikh Tzibur needs to go down and he davens again. K'dei lekayim takanas chachamim, in order to mekayim the takan of Chazal. Haga. V'm yesh yechidim makol shemarichin b'tfilasan. If there are individuals in the community that are marich in their tefillah, ein la Sheikh Tzibur lahamtin aleim. The Sheikh Tzibur should not wait for them. Afilu hayu chashuvei ha'ir, even if they are important. If there are yechidim in the kahal that are marich in their tefillah, then the Sheikh Tzibur should not wait for them, even if they're chashuv. V'cheinim hayu minyan b'beis hakneses. Likewise, if there's a minyan in the basic knesset, ein lahamtin al adam chashav agada shadayin loiba. Don't wait for the a chashav person who's running late. So 2 halachas Rama is saying. If you have you have some individuals that there are being marich in their tefillah, the Sheikh Tzibur should not wait for them, even if these are chashva people. And likewise, if let's say you have a minyan and it's ready to start, just a Hashavua person didn't roll in yet. Don't wait for him. Don't wait for him. Says the Mishna Berura, Sivkat Yon Aleph, Afal Pi Kein Yered. So this halacha is, even though everyone's a baki, you still say Chazar Sashatz. Ayin le'el b'siman samach tes, Mishna Berura, Sivkat Yon Aleph. Look earlier in Siman Samach Tes. I guess if he's telling us to look there, we should look there. That's talking about the laws of purest al Shema. That if there are people that they davened, each one by themselves, and they didn't hear not Kaddish and not Kedusha, then they could be purest al Shema. Okay. Takanas Chachamim, she'kishet tiknu Chachamim she'yachzor shel tzibur atfila. When the Chacham were masakin to repeat the tefillah, yitzrichu lechapis b'chol tefillah achar kol ish ve'ish basic nesses im yesha misha ina baki imlav. The rabbis didn't require, okay, let's do a search now. Are there any amaratzim in the shul? Raise your hand if you're a full-fledged amaretz, so we can know if we should say chazar sashatz. They can't do it that way. Ela tiknu she'yesh shel tzibur chayzer ha-tefillah olam. They're masakin, the shel tzibur always repeats the tefillah. Shema Yiyab Hamachas Basic Nesses Misha Baki. They were masaking it because maybe one time there'll be someone who's not a baki. V'yotzienu Ashatz Yidei Chayvasai, and the shots will be moitzi him as chiyav. Okay, Chashuvei Hoyer. Why do you not wait for individuals that are still davening Shemona Esrei? Chashuvei Tarchat Tzibur, because of Tercha de Tzibura. V'achshav nagu shel Tzibur mamtin ad sheyasayim ha'av bezin atfilas. Nowadays, we wait until shel Tzibur waits until the Av Bezin finishes his tefillah. And nowadays, most people daven too quickly, so the minhag is the shots waits for the Av Bezdin. Because most people daven too quickly, and someone who davens every word, lo yuchal loymar kedusha mat tzibur, won't be able to say kedusha with the tzibur. Therefore, they wait for the Av Bezdin kihem oisim shalai kedin. All those people that finish quickly, they're not doing the right thing. Lefikach, therefore, ein Av Bezdin ba'ir. If there's no Av Bezdin, hu adin diyamtenu al maspal mila b'mila. You need to wait for someone who says every word. Avo kishamarich ein lahamten alav. Don't wait for someone who davens a lengthy Shemona Esrei. Daven for someone who davens each word carefully. Meaning someone who actually says every word. Let's say, like in many places, the minhag is, let's say on the long tachnon, they say every fourth word, right? As just like a token gesture to the concept of tachnon. So if you say every fourth word, you're able to finish in the allotted amount of time. So it's saying, how long should you wait? Don't wait for a guy that's marach. Wait for a guy that says every word. Now, if, let's say, the shel tzibur is waiting for the rabbi, and it's disturbing the rabbi that, the pressure that the shel tzibur is waiting for him, so he can motion, go ahead. Now, it's interesting, the Shulchan Aruch said earlier in Siman Hesav Zayin that if someone's still davening, you should wait for him, even though you have a minyan, so that he can answer Kaddish. So Aruch HaShulchan says, if he's marach a lot, you don't wait for him. And the Mekar Chaim says, here we're talking about for Kedusha. And for Kedusha, even if you start right away, he still has time to finish up. But regarding Kaddish, if you start, then he's going to miss the whole Kaddish. By the way, the Rimagash says that the Chazan should also not be marach in his tefillah, so not to be matrech letzibur. Okay. Now the Mishna Berura continues. Uchemoisha Amar Rabbi Akiva, an example of a very long Shemona Esrei is like what they said about Rabbi Akiva. I'm sorry, that Rabbi Akiva, even though he davened a long Shemana Esrei. When he davened with the tzibur, he davened a short. Someone who needs to daven long. And he's afraid they're going to mock him. He's allowed to take 3 steps back when the shots begins, even though he did not finish his tefillah. And then he takes 3 steps forwards and he finishes. And in all of these circumstances, if your kavanah is L'Shem Shamayim, it's okay. Now, how are you allowed to take 3 steps back in the middle of the Shemana Esrei? Because you're so distracted that if you don't do that, you won't be able to be mechaven. Now, if there is a minyan in the shul, don't wait for an adam chashav who didn't arrive yet. Even if it means that you're not going to over this man kriyas tefillah, otherwise afilu biyachidi, even as an individual, tzarich lehispalo, you need to daven kedei shelo yaver hazman, so that the time doesn't pass. Ein lahamtin shekivan sheyesh asara. Because once 10 people are in the shul, yeshna sham ashchina, the shchina is there. Ve'amiyam 10 oid. So who are you waiting for? Ukayom nespashir amig lahamtin al avbezin. Nowadays the minhag is to wait for the avbezin. V'nera hatama, it would seem the reason is mishum dahaminhag kayom ba'ar Yisrael. The minhag today in Jewish cities, l'kbaya im ha'avbezin b'yachad eis lomaid achar tefillah. The minhag is to set a time with the avbezin to learn after davening. If the minyan would have started right away before the Abdezin gets there, then by the time davening's over, people are going to run home and they're going to lose out on the shir. Then everyone is going to go on his way. It's going to cause betul Torah. And a set learning after tefillah is a great inyan. You should not delay the zman kriyas tefillah because of this. Meaning, the reason we're waiting for the avbezin to start is because if we don't wait for him and the tzibur starts, then he's going to be running behind, and when davening's over, people are going to leave and they're not going to stay to learn with him. But you should only wait for him as long as you're not going to miss the zman kriyas tefillah. Kasav el yarabba yesh lo laharav lahakdim atzmai love the beis knesses koydem kedei shelo yamtinu alav. The el yarabba says the rabbi has to make sure to come early to shul so they don't have to wait for him. So even though yes, they should wait for him so they don't lose the shir, he should come early so they don't have to wait for him. So I guess they have to come on time to the shir also. Okay, Rabbi say, have a great day. Bracha v'atzlacha.
Is this literal only what the avbezin used to do with the shir? I mean, nowadays.
Same thing with if the Rav gives a dvar halacha after.
So even if not, it's standard practice in the yeshiva. You wait for the yeshiva to show up to start. It's not all because there's a shir after. It's just that's the kavanah Torah. That's what we do.
Do they? I mean, the davening starts at a certain time, no?
I daven at a minyan minute every day. The truth is the Rosh tells them wait for me for X amount of minutes, and if at that point then you can start.
I think in many yeshivas the zman is the zman, you know.
We went to a very yakety yeshiva.
I think in Chavetz Chaim the zman is the zman. So you know, when the time is called, they start. Yeah, and